Hey everybody, welcome to the show. You know where you are, the 9 at 9 with me, Tigo. And as always, we got great experts, but today we're going to talk about something that's close to my heart, but in an entirely different way. Today we're going to talk about syndication. But in my case, it's not about television. Dr. Waz here. Sit right there. We'll be right back.
Emmett, do you want to play with me? Yeah, I can't play right now. I'm doing show notes.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Yep, you heard me right. We're going to talk about syndication, but we're not talking about television, and that's the syndication I know. So what is Dr. Wah talking about when she says multifamily syndication? Hey, doctor, are you out there?
Hey, Tigo.
What's happening? Okay, so we talked about business and raving fans. Now we've talked about, understanding investment, but now even I'm sitting at the edge of my seat going, multifamily syndication? Where are you going with this, Doc?
I know most people haven't heard about multifamily syndication. It's like a hidden little
yeah.
But multifamily syndication, that's apartment investing. So multifamily and syndication just means that a group of investors can passively invest alongside our group or an experienced team and leverage them to do all the work. So it's like real estate done for you.
Wow.
And it's a bunch of investors pulling money together so you can buy a larger, bigger apartment, property. And that's really what multifamily syndication is.
So wait, that's a real thing. It's like I've heard of multi-door. I've talked with real estate investors and people, contractors, and they talk about multi-door investments all the time. But usually it's them, it's their company or their development firm, and they're creating this giant apartment complex or condominium, area or something. But you're talking about being able to invest like in a group.
Correct.
And so
every individual, right? So you drive by on the highway, you see these nice apartments, 200-300 units. You're like, there's no way I could ever have ownership in a property like that, right? And then to think, well, who do you think owns a lot of these? Would you believe that the average Joe, like most of us, can actually own a lot of these?
No, you're making that up.
It's through the power of syndication that you can have part ownership in these big properties, right? And have your money work for you. And that's the beauty of these multifamily syndication. I'm like, no one taught me this.
Yeah, I've never even heard of this before. So how do you do that? I mean, you can't just walk on the grounds and say, hey, can I invest in unit 1 and 3? I know you're already building it, but can I throw my $5 in? I mean, how do you actually do that?
Yeah, and that's the thing, with these, you don't even ever get to see these investment opportunities. Majority of people will never have the opportunity to invest in a class like this because they just don't know people who are actively doing it. And so it's really in order to even get these, because they're not publicly advertised, and some of them may be through crowdfunding and different platforms or funds, but to have a person that you can connect with, get educated, and have an actual touch point where you have questions. And if you want to just call them up, that's a different story to have a one-on-one, like, okay, I'm investing with this person and their team. I have questions. I get to see all the transparent financials directly from the management company.
Wow.
Well, an investor has direct access to all the financials, every dollar that goes in, every dollar that goes out, what's being done on the property, because they're a limited partner. And so they get transparent money in and out every single month. And then you have to know a sponsor or a syndicator. And that's what Jaime and I are, the syndicators. We connect people with these investment opportunities. And unless you know us personally, you don't get access to these type of investment opportunities.
Yep, that's my friend. I know her personally. You guys can forget about it. No, I'm kidding. So if somebody is sitting there and they're going, oh my gosh, that's perfect. That's perfect. They've been flipping houses for years, and now the competition for flipping is absolutely insane, especially here in Las Vegas. There's 10, 20 bids going for a property that's, at the right value level to be a flip. And they're going, what am I going to do next? If they're sitting there and they're looking, they're going, that's perfect. But how much do they need to make that initial investment? Are you talking 6 figures, 7 figures? How much do they need to be an investor in a group, in a syndicated group
Right.
like that?
So most syndications, like for us and most people out there who syndicate, it's 50,000 minimum is what the usual buy-in is. It can range.
Lunch money.
Yeah. So 50.
Couple of gallons of gas, basically, right now.
So it's 50 to 75,000. There are platforms where you can do a smaller amount, say 5 to 10,000, or even as small as, those are crowdfunding platforms, but you're not going to get a direct point of access to a person who's running the project. You're not going to get detailed financials. You'll get high level, like what's going on, but you're not going to get direct access of all the numbers to go visit the property on site because you're part of the owner. You're not going to have that type of access when it's an online or a crowdfunding type platform. But when you go a personalized project like this, it is a little bit higher to get in, but most people don't even know that, hey, I have 50 grand, or I can use my retirement funds. I have 401k or self-directed IRA money that you can actually utilize some of that for investing and diversify your portfolio out. And so a lot of people don't know that they can do that.
So can you have multiple investments going on multiple projects at the same time? Like, is there a limit to how much you can do? And if somebody does have higher, they're like, no, I've got, $500,000. What do I do with the doc? Can you do that as well?
Yeah, you can do as much. I have, investors who do few million. I have some that start at 50. So it's a wide range of depending on what their goals are. Because a lot of people, sometimes it's cash flow. Some people just want, hey, I don't care about the cash flow. I just want to appreciate in 3 to 5 years. You sell it, I get my big chunk. And some people, it's really taxation. And some people are like, they're super wealthy and they have a tax problem. And they come to us, hey, can you help us with the tax benefits? Because multifamily is this big tax, we call it cost seg study. And so it's appreciated depreciation. And so you get all of that in the first year. And so most asset classes don't get that. And that's why the multifamily space has been such a hot pocket once people understand how it works and they talk to their CPA and they strategize their situation. A lot of people are now getting more into the space once they get educated and know how it works.
See, do y'all see now why she's our now Honors Businesswoman of the Year for 2022? She rocks. That's why she's our now Honors Businesswoman of the Year. Okay, so do you need licensing? You're talking about real estate. Do you need to be a real estate broker, a real estate agent, a real estate mortgage broker, any of that stuff? Or can you just be the average Joe, like Tigo can come and say, hey, Doc, which I'm probably going to do. Right. Hey, Doc, how do I jump in? Can right. Anybody do it?
And so with the passive investing, you don't have to have any licensing. There's 2 types of investment classes that the SEC, which is Securities Exchange Commission, there's a 506B and a 506C. A 506B is majority of what we do, and a 506B means you don't have to be an accredited investor. You don't have to show us your financials. You don't have to show us anything. All we need to know is we have to actually have a conversation with you. We have to have a relationship with you in order for you to invest in our opportunities, or you have to be referred in by someone who we establish and know and trust. And so you don't have now, if it's a 506C, then yes, we will check if you're an accredited investor. You have to have an income criteria to be considered an accredited investor, but no licensing, no real estate, things like that. But we like to educate people before they invest with us. That's key.
Is there an age limit? Like, you have to be over 21, you have to be under 75. Is there an age limit to being an investor?
There's not an age limit. I mean, I have my nephew, he's starting to invest with me, and he started investing by age 18. I have people as young as 18. I have people as old as 80 something. So it's a wide range. I have teachers, I have doctors, I have CEOs, I have athletes. I have all walks of life.
Wow. Okay. So multifamily syndication is what we're talking about. And if somebody is sitting there just on the edge of their seat going, how do I get started? How do I get started? How do they reach you, Doc?
They can reach me on my website, passivewealth23.com. And then what I would suggest is once they reach onto that website, I'll send out a due diligence checklist for passive investors. It's a 50-point detailed checklist. So when they're looking at possibly investing, what they should look for and what can be a red flag.
Let's give them that website one more time before Alan cuts us off because he's rude.
PassiveWealth23.com.
Thank you so much for hanging out, Doc. I know this is the last of our 3 episodes, but man, I hope you'll come back. You have so much knowledge. You're absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Thank you, Tigo.
You are the best. Hey, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this interview. I hope you'll be back next time. And as always, I'm Tigo. I'll talk to you next time.